Hey, so this is going to be just a quick video to show you how to access the different bones and the features of those bones so you'll be more prepared for your lab this coming week over the skeletal system. So you get into your APR, you select the module. The first one we're going to select is the tissues. Go to all content and then come down here to our connective tissues. And bone is a connective tissue. So here you can click compact bone and you can look at what a slide of compact bone will look like. So this is the histology of compact bone. In here you can see the lines of the osteon, and osteon are going to be just these circles with these layers. These layers are called lamellae. So here you can see the interstitial lamellae, the lamellae that aren't part of the osteon. You can also see the central canal of the osteon, and even these things which are called the lacunae, where those mature bone cells or osteocytes are found. So that's compact bone, but we also have spongy bone. And so here you can see spongy bone. And when you look at the spongy bone, this part right here is the actual bone. And the other parts, so this is the trabeculae of the bone, the other stuff, this is going to be the marrow within that spongy bone. And you always come down here and click tags on and off. And so here you can see this is the marrow, this is the spongy bone. The differences between them, in the spongy bone you see a lot more cells and cell types. In the bone you're going to have a lot fewer bones, and you can always click on it and it can tell you more about what that stuff is with these tags. So that's the histology, the compact spongy, but you can come down here to skeletal, click on skeletal, again all content, and we can find regions. So you can go, I want to see the entire skeleton, the front or the posterior. So we're going to look at the anterior, the entire skeleton, and you can pick out different parts on this. So you can select appendicular skeleton, the pelvic girdle of the appendicular skeleton. Or you can be more specific and say, I want to look at the skull. I want to look at an anterior view of the skull. And here you can see the muscle attachments. So this is going to be the origin of the muscle. This is the insertion of muscles. And you can click on these things to see what they are. When you come down here, you can select Other. And so here it's going to show you the origins of these muscles or the insertions of these muscles. So where does the platysma insert? It inserts down there on the chin. Okay? But you can also make those go away so you don't see them. Okay, so we want to look at the skeleton because that's what we're doing. And you can find these different bones in here. We'll look at the maxillary bone. So the maxilla is going to be this bone right here in the front. Here you can see your maxillary teeth, the infraorbital foramen down here. And again, you can show these tags or not show these tags. So these are showing the tags for the entire skull. So you can see your frontal bone, your zygomatic bone, your mandible, your mental protuberance, mental foramen, all these different parts. This is really going to help you when you're trying to quiz yourself by having these tags here so you can identify them without having to look it up. You can also look at, a lateral side. Again, you can remove those muscle attachments if you want. You can also look at a mid-sagittal. So if you cut it in half, you'll get here. This is going to really help you when you want to see stuff like maybe the vomer. You look at the vomer, you're going to see it's deep in here and makes up part of the nasal septum at the bottom, the lower nasal or inferior nasal septum. So you can just roll through these. We'll cover joints online for the group coming up, but you can look at other bones like the femur. Again, anterior, posterior, anterior, and coronal. So this is what the femur looks like. Again, if you want to get rid of those attachments, you can do that. The skeleton, and you can find parts of the femur. So the greater trochanter is one of your structures, and you can see it's up here. The head of the femur, another one of your structures. There it is. So looking anterior and posterior. The neck, the linea aspera. You have a bunch of adductors that attach here on the linea aspera, this line. You can look at just the shaft. So what does the diaphysis of the femur look like? So look over your structure list and the bones before you go in, and it's really going to help you get the most out of your time in lab.